Welcome to yet another episode of Weekly Gaming News. This is the 5th week that I've been doing this, and I'm still enjoying working on this format. So I'll definitely will be continuing this for the foreseeable future. So, let's kick things off with this news story. According to recent reports, Square Enix anticipates that the third installment of the Final Fantasy VII Remake series will likely be released around 2027. This conclusion is based on the expectation that the development and release process for Part 3 will follow a similar trajectory as the previous games in the series. The second part, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, team is already making progress on the script and considering various developments for the next installment, according to director Yoshinori Kitase, as reported by Audrey. He says that once again the third game will be put together by the same team, and that the goal is to create another title on par with Remake and Rebirth's overall quality. On that note, it sounds like Part 3's main story is already written, as you might have guessed, and the developer's thinking about recording voice work in the near future. While the exact title of the third part remains uncertain, whether it will be called Remnants Revival or something else, fans eagerly await its continuation. The story takes a significant turn at the City of the Ancients, and players are curious to experience that decisive moment firsthand. Director Naoki Hamaguchi has hinted that they are currently in a similar situation as when transitioning from the first game to the second, which bodes well for a relatively swift release. It's worth mentioning that the PS5 will be 7 years old in November 2027, and by that point we'll probably be looking towards the next PlayStation console, if previous generations are anything to go by. Still, the timing makes sense if Square Enix wants to get all 3 games on one platform. Star Wars Outlaws, the scoundrel adventure set between Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, has stirred up controversy. Ubisoft, the game's publisher, has already faced criticism for introducing a season pass for this single-player game. Now, fans are expressing frustration once again upon discovering that the highly anticipated Jabba the Hutt mission is locked behind the season pass. The season pass, available as an optional extra to the standard $70 game, is currently accessible only through the $109 Gold Edition and the even pricier $129 Ultimate Edition. These premium editions grant access to the exclusive Jabba's Gambit mission right from the game's launch. Here's a glimpse of what awaits players in this mission. Just as Kay is putting together a crew for the Canto Bight heist, she receives a job from Jabba the Hutt himself. Turns out that ND5 owes Jabba a debt from years ago, and he has come to collect. The mission description hints at players working for, and even potentially betraying Jabba, who leads one of the criminal factions in the game. However, it remains unclear whether this content is part of the standard game or comes at a premium. Regardless, it's evident that the $70 standard edition won't grant access to all of Star Wars Outlaws. Fans have expressed their discontent, emphasizing that locking day one content behind an additional paywall is not a favorable move. As one user aptly put it on Reset Era, and that's why you don't defend these shitty early access editions with arguments like, it's not taking anything away from other players, it's just to play a few days earlier. Another player echoed this sentiment, stating that while post-release editions are acceptable, gating content that would otherwise be available on day one is less than ideal. Foam Stars, the stylized PS5 and PS4 shooter, launched on February 6th and was even available day one through PS Plus Essential. However, its journey has been anything but stellar. According to PSN gameplay data, the game has experienced a dramatic decline, losing approximately 95% of its player count since its initial release for any game. This is a brutal setback. But for a live service title like Foam Stars, it raises serious questions about its longevity. Launching an attractive live service game is challenging, but maintaining its player base over time is even harder. Regaining lost ground once a game starts slipping becomes nearly impossible, especially when negative perceptions set in. Adding to the challenge, Foam Stars released just 2 days before Helldivers 2, a live service game that has become an absolute smash hit. The contrast between the two titles highlights the volatility of the live service landscape. Additionally, Foam Stars faced criticism for its monetization model, with in-game purchases that some players found eye-wateringly expensive. According to Toby Schatt, the design director at Toys for Bob, sales of Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time have impressively exceeded 5 million copies since its original debut on PlayStation and Xbox. This well-received sequel has certainly made its mark, even though the Nintendo Switch version faced some technical limitations. As an indie studio now, Toys for Bob has already struck a deal with Microsoft for their next game, with rumors suggesting it might be another Spyro title. I really hope that happens, as I am a massive Spyro fan. Unlike a lot of recently released blockbusters, Stellar Blade won't be taking up a massive chunk of your PS5 storage space. According to the ever-reliable PlayStation game size, the upcoming action title weighs in at a very reasonable 30 GB, which is obviously a far cry from the 80 GB and above downloads that players have gotten used to dealing with over the course of the generation. Even though it's a largely linear game, we did think that because of its emphasis on cinematics, Stellar Blade would serve up a more significant file size, but it looks like developer Shift Up has done a good job of keeping things in check. And it's not like this is some 5-hour experience either. Based on developer interviews from a few months back, it's believed that Stellar Blade is around 25 hours in length. So, again, just over 30 GB seems nice and compact. According to PS5 player data, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has managed to surpass 2 million copies sold since its launch on February 29th. While this achievement is commendable, it's essential to put it in context compared to other notable Final Fantasy titles. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the original PS4 version of the remake, which preceded Rebirth, achieved an impressive 3.5 million sales in just 3 days. Final Fantasy XVI, despite mixed messages from Square Enix regarding its success, this PS5 exclusive sold 3 million copies at launch. Although Rebirth hasn't quite matched the sales figures of its predecessors, selling over 2 million copies is still a significant accomplishment. Sequels often face challenges in maintaining the same momentum as their predecessors, especially when the initial installment was popular. Not every player who bought the remake necessarily enjoyed it, which could naturally impact sequel sales. Regardless, Rebirth's achievement is nothing to scoff at, even if it leaves us wondering whether it met Square Enix's notoriously high expectations. An American expat in Japan recently expressed their frustration about the state of retro gaming in the country. According to the resident, the situation has become disheartening as tourists are clearing entire shelves of vintage games, leaving little behind for local enthusiasts. The resident clarified that they don't mind tourists who genuinely want to play these games, but it's the scalpers who purchase in bulk and then resell online that are causing distress. The scarcity of retro games has become a common issue, not only in Japan but also in other places like the United States, where once thriving thrift shop finds have dwindled due to the rising popularity of retro gaming. It's a sentiment shared by many collectors worldwide. As demand increases and supplies remain finite, prices soar, making it challenging for true enthusiasts to find and enjoy these nostalgic treasures. Perhaps in the midst of this scarcity, emulation or repro games becomes a blessing for those who yearn to relive the golden days of gaming without emptying their wallets. After a 23-year quest, a dedicated collector has finally secured a rare Castlevania copy for an astounding $90,000. This sealed NES game, part of the first production, was sold in one of the highest-priced auctions for a raw boxed video game. The winning bidder, known as Minus Worlds on Instagram, shared a photo of the sealed copy adorned with the Nintendo Gold certification. In a heartfelt comment, they revealed that this game held immense sentimental value. "This was the first game my mom ever bought me. I still remember the phone call we made to buy it. It's a core memory, as is this past week. A couple more plane rides to go, but this beautiful first print hang-tab Castlevania is almost home." The uniqueness of this copy lies not only in its rarity but also in its hang tab, making it even more exceptional. Only 32 graded copies of this game exist in the Water Population Report. Another bidder, Frank Jeremita, known as Grail Monster, graciously accepted defeat, acknowledging that the winner deserved this historical piece. Jeremita speculated that this rare find could potentially be a $250,000 flip in the future, making it the highest priced raw game ever sold. And this is why I buy repro games from AliExpress. No way I am paying that much for a sealed game with its hang tag intact. Little Samson, renowned as one of the most elusive NES games to procure, has surfaced amidst a collection of titles listed for sale on shopgoodwill.com, an auction platform affiliated with the Goodwill charity thrift stores network across North America. Originally released by Taito in 1992 to lackluster sales, this game can command staggering prices of up to $18,000 when in top-notch condition. The specimen showcased in this auction appears to be intact, albeit with the box's top secured by masking tape, a detail that is sure to make serious collectors cringe. The auction lineup features other notable titles like Mario is Missing, Tecmo Super Bowl, Yoshi's Cookie, and Cobra Triangle. Commencing with a modest $1 starting bid, the auction has already surged past the $8,000 mark, with only days remaining. I'll leave a link below so you can have a look at this auction, as it should be over by the time this video is out. In the latest Japanese gaming charts reported by Famitsu, Nintendo's latest offering continues to dominate the rankings. Princess Peach. Showtime maintains its reign for the third consecutive week, with an additional 19,612 units securing its position at the top. While these figures might seem somewhat modest, they still reflect a strong hold on the market. Meanwhile, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe races back into second place, showcasing remarkable resilience with 13,055 sales this week, despite being 7 years old. Notably, there are no newcomers in the current charts, with fan favorites like Minecraft, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Animal Crossing, New Horizons rounding out the top 10. Tales of Kenzera. Zao is an upcoming Metroidvania video game developed by Surgeon Studios and published by Electronic Arts under its EA Originals label. The game is set to be released for Windows PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and Series S in April 2024. Crafted by Surgeon Studios, the entertainment studio founded by actor Abubakar Salim, known for his role as Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. Inspired by the rich myths of Bantu cultures. Uncover the secrets of Kenzera and encounter mighty beings. Pre-purchase the standard edition to receive a 10% discount, the Kalunga's Blessing visual effect variant, and 2 shaman points to unlock skills in-game. The fitness boxing featuring Hatsune Miku game for the Nintendo Switch has received an E rating from the Entertainment Software Rating Board in North America, indicating that it is suitable for all audiences. In this rhythm-based fitness game, players follow timed prompts along with music to perform boxing routines, mimicking movements like jabs, uppercuts, and dodges. The inclusion of Hatsune Miku, the virtual idol, adds a unique twist to the exercise experience. This follows on from a rating for the game by the Australian Classification Board on March 18, 2024. It received G for General and references general online interactivity. This looks really cool, and I may pick this game up at some stage. The game's global release date is expected to be announced soon, making fans of both fitness and Hatsune Miku eagerly anticipate its arrival. Since I got my new gaming PC, I've been checking out free games over on Epic Games Store, so I will try and feature this here each week. This week on the Epic Games Store, you can grab 2 games for free. The Big Con is an exciting adventure available on the Epic Games Store. In this game, you step into the shoes of Ali, a curious and sarcastic high schooler who embarks on a cross-country road trip to save her family's video store from nasty loan sharks. Town of Salem 2. Step into the town of Salem. A realm of mystery and deceit awaits. Join us in this thrilling online strategy game. Experience paranoia, taste triumph, and confront murder in every move. Both of these games will be available on April 19th. I saw this over on Twitter. X from Insomniac Games bounced back to Ratchet & Clank 2016 for its 8th anniversary. To celebrate, the bouncer is now available to download at no additional cost. Complete your arsenal and revisit the reimagining of the duo's first outing, now in 60 FPS on PlayStation 5 via update. Also, I saw this over on Twitter. X from Asper. Patch 2 is available now for Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3, remastered on all platforms, and get a load of a new Lara Croft leopard skin outfit. Update 2 includes improvements across all the games, individual updates for all 3 games, fixes, and much more. Full patch notes can be found over on Aspia website. A recent analysis has revealed an interesting statistic about a pair of playable demos on PS5. According to Ampere, Stellar Blade's demo at its peak, had almost twice the number of daily active players compared to the peak for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's demo. Apparently, the Korean action RPG's best day saw the demo accrue about 690,000 daily active users. In contrast, the demo for Square Enix's anticipated sequel, FF7 Rebirth, managed roughly 380,000 at its peak. This comparison is intriguing. Both games are major PS5 exclusives this year and share a similar genre. However, Stellar Blade is a new IP with much to prove, while FF7 Rebirth is part of an established series. The difference in player figures could be attributed to various factors. Many players were likely curious about Stellar Blade and wanted to assess whether it was worth picking up. On the other hand, fans of Final Fantasy might have hesitated to play the Rebirth demo to preserve the experience for the full game's release. It's worth noting that while Stellar Blade had impressive demo numbers, the Rebirth demo's 380k peak players translated to about 2.2 million daily active players at launch. Stellar Blade, lacking the same brand recognition and anticipation, may not follow the same trajectory. Nevertheless, it'll be fascinating to see how the game performs when it arrives later this month. While the future of Ubisoft's Prince of Persia franchise seems relatively positive between the Lost Crown and a rumored upcoming roguelite, there's a big question mark over the long-delayed remake of 2003, The Sands of Time. The remake was originally announced back in 2020 to be developed by Ubisoft Mumbai and Ubisoft Pune, but it was subsequently delayed following criticism regarding the game's graphics. In 2022, development switched hands to Ubisoft Montreal, who created the original in the PlayStation 2 era. There's currently no release date, but the studio tweeted last November that the project had passed an important internal milestone. However, a new report suggests the remake has been reworked entirely since then. So, I'm not sure if this game will ever see the light of day, much like Beyond Good and Evil 2. So that's pretty much it for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I've got a Sega Master System video coming out soon. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.